I'm just chilling, laying here, just relaxing, and you talking about you can start pushing. What? That room, it looked like a jail cell. It was raggedy. It was just like, oh, like I feel like I was gonna die in there. Like, do y'all even have the right tools in this hospital? Oh my God. I'm on level 9 now. Basically ready to push. And them contractions, level 9 contractions that I was feeling, girl, death. What's good to all my cousins? What's good to all my people? What's good to all the people that F with me? You F with me, I F with you. You F with me, then we a crew. Simple as that. Period. That part. So anyways, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a week since I uploaded, but y'all know, I'm a mom. I have responsibilities. I have bills to pay. I have a baby to take care of. I have things to do. But I'm back in the game. I'm feeling so much better, more energy, more, you know. Gotta get back to work, back to the grind. And, you know, really why I wasn't posting, because me and my man, we wasn't friends at the time. And we didn't want to post because we wasn't talking. And I don't want to be fake on camera. So we wasn't doing videos because we wasn't friends. But we're friends again, so. Yeah, I'm back. Let's give it a clap. Make sure you like this video for me being back. By the title of this video, you already see what I'm about to do. This video is very highly requested by all my pregnant moms, all of my expecting moms, all of my interested in pregnancy supporters. So y'all wanted me to tell y'all like the details and go into detail and tell y'all everything that went down and how it was. This TV is irking my soul. So I'm about to get into detail about what happened with my labor day, like labor story time. That's what this is. I'm about to be explaining everything because I know I uploaded a labor vlog, but I didn't like explain what was going on. Like you just seen. So y'all probably really don't know everything because like feeling wise or what happened before or during, you know, there's some stuff I left out too. Not everything was in the video. So I'm about to get into that for y'all. And yeah, we're gonna start off by the beginning. So basically I had to get induced because I went to 42 weeks past my due date. I was really exhausted. Like when I tell you going past your due date is exhausting, it's very exhausting, especially being in the summertime. August, girl, it was a lot. So my doctor was like, he gave me a chance to go into labor by myself. He like stuck his fingers up in there and tried to open it up. My what is it called? My mucus plug ended up coming out, and I thought I was going to end up going to labor. But it didn't happen. My baby did not want to come out on his own. So I ended up having to get induced. They make you take the coronavirus test before you get induced. So I had to take the coronavirus test the day before. And I passed, of course. So then the day came to where it was time to get induced the next day. And when I tell you I cannot sleep the day before, I cannot sleep. And it's not even because I was scared or nothing. It's just like, just laying there in the bed, just like, dang, I'm really about to give birth tomorrow. Like, it feel like you about to go on a talent show or something. Like, that's how it was feeling. I think I eventually ended up getting some sleep, probably barely. But so the day came, and I remember my doctor telling me that I need to eat a big meal. Not a big meal, but he said to eat before I went. And I got induced early in the morning. It was scheduled for me to go in at 10. I think I got scheduled to go in at 10 a.m. So I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning so I could shower, do my hair. I made sure I did my edges extra bomb that day. Like, I wanted to make sure I had my edges right while my baby was coming out. So he could know his mom, her edges always gonna be laid, baby. Period. So I made sure I did my extra hard that day. Got them right. My man went to go give me some breakfast while I was at home getting ready. I put on the dress just because I wanted it to be easy. I didn't want to do too much. I just wanted to relax. Marquis' auntie came over, talked to us. His mom was talking to us. She was recording us like the before of how it was gonna be before we went in, and yeah, like interviewing us or how we felt or whatever. And my man was so excited. I really thought he was gonna be scared, bro. He was just excited. He wasn't scared at all, which was good for me, but I didn't expect that. So then, boom, my man came back. He came back like 9 something, and we were supposed to be at the hospital at 10. I had to hurry up and rest and eat. I didn't finish all my food, but I was still, I was fed. So we ended up going, like me and my man, we just driving to the hospital. While we drive, I'm not gonna lie, I started getting nervous. And when I get nervous, like I don't want to talk. So I wasn't talking to my man, like, and while we was driving to the hospital, it was just pure quietness. Like we wasn't talking at all. Like it just felt like you about to go do something big. Like you don't even want to talk. So I wasn't talking or nothing while we was driving there. We was just driving. And I was like telling him like, you drive faster, because we was almost late for me to get induced while we was on the freeway. So I was wanting him to drive faster. But it was like real quiet on the freeway, so there's nothing we could do about it. And I was like, you take the streets, but he don't never know how to take the streets, so we just had to take the freeway.
Anybody that know me know that
all he do is take the freeway,
I don't know,
literally. So we was in all that traffic. I was just like, like my leg just shaking, like I'm ready to get there. I'm ready to get there already. I was nervous, kind of. Like when I'm nervous, I don't want to talk, so I wasn't really talking at all. So, boom, we ended up getting to the doctor's office. When we got there, I felt like my man was going the wrong way, because ain't when you get pregnant, you're supposed to go to the labor and delivery part of the hospital, but I didn't see them signs where he was driving, so I started getting a little irritated, like, where are you taking me? Like, where are we going? He took me to the emergency parking lot, so we parked in there, and I was kind of irritated because I feel like we was going to the wrong way. Mind you, my hormones was on 20. I'm already past my due date, about to give birth. My hormones was on 20, so that's why I was so irritated. So we get in the parking lot, we get out the car, and I'm like, where are we going? I'm like, this is not the right spot. He's like, I don't know where it is. Boom, that just made me calm down. Like, he don't know where it is, I don't know where it is. I might as well just go with the flow. So we just walking through the parking lot. We get out the parking lot, we go to we ended up finding where you go to, like, for babies, to deliver babies. And we walked in there, and it was a Mexican lady in there, and she like made us stop at the door, and because we didn't have masks. When we went, we didn't even have no mask. So we had to stop, and my man was like, y'all got some masks? The Spanish lady was like, no, Hispanic. The Hispanic lady was like, yeah, I got masks, but y'all shouldn't be leaving the house without masks. Like, she said that to us, like, y'all shouldn't be leaving the house without masks, or whatever. Like, we know that, that's why we're asking you for a mask. But she ended up giving us some masks, and then they was like, what y'all here for? And we was like, my man was like, she's getting induced. I wasn't talking at all, like, I was just quiet. But then that's when did they make us fill out something?
Yeah, they made us fill out a form, and then they took us up to the room. No,
they did not. They told us where to go. So then we ended up going where she pointed and told us to go. So we got on the elevator. I'm just quiet the whole time. And then I got on my phone to call my mom, because she told me to call her when I got to the hospital. So I called my mom on FaceTime, and she was like, are y'all on y'all way there? I'm like, we here already. Like, I'm in the elevator right now. So then she was like, oh, and then she was just on FaceTime with me the whole time, just talking to me about whatever she was saying. I don't even remember what she was saying. That's how nervous I was and not even paying attention. But we ended up getting into the, what was it, the lobby or something, whatever it was, for labor and delivery. And it was a black lady at the counter, and she gave us a paper to fill out, put my name and all that stuff.
That lady was nice.
Yeah, she was cool. Like, she was about to pay for our parking ticket, but of course she didn't be able to, because he always lose everything. he lost our
She wasn't
parking
gonna pay for
ticket.
it. They just
Yes, she
validated
was. She was gonna make it $2.
That she was gonna validate it. Anybody could have did that.
But it happened though, because you lost the ticket. That's my point. So, yeah, the black lady in there was cool. I think she was being nice to me because I was black and she was black, and she was like, yeah.
She's saying you as a young black mom.
Yeah.
Everybody in there was so nice for some reason. Like,
no, not everybody.
the second nurse that we got, I didn't like the second.
This is supposed to be me telling the story time.
My fault. You want me to leave?
No, you don't have to leave, but just let me tell it. Black lady at the front there. My man ended up leaving. He left me sitting there because I think he went to go do something. Where'd you go do? Sell cars? Something. He went to his car for something. He always leaving me somewhere to go to his car.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. You always leave me. You left me on my birthday. You left me on Jenneryville. You always go do something. Like,
You probably went to go smoke.
anyway, so I was just sitting there by myself, nervous because he wanted to leave. But I was on FaceTime with my mom, so I wasn't really tripping. While he was gone, the nurse ended up coming to take me to the room, so he wasn't even there to come me to the room. But eventually he ended up coming. And one thing that made me nervous was the fact that I didn't want to be at that hospital in the first place was making me irritated, real mad. I wanted to be at Cedars-Sinai because that's a really nice hospital. They treat you real nice, and because I was born at that hospital. That's why I wanted to be there, because I wanted my baby to be born where I was born at.
Don't go to Presbyterian.
But yeah, when we was in that freaking room, I was getting irritated. It made me real mad, and it made me way more nervous because that room, it looked like a jail cell. It was raggedy. It was just like, oh, like I feel like I was gonna die in there. Like, do y'all even have the right tools in this hospital? Anyway, so yeah, that's what made me nervous, was that I didn't like how the room was. I didn't like that hospital at all. It just wasn't what I wanted. But I had to go there because I had to get induced. If I would have went in labor by myself, I would have been able to go to Cedars-Sinai. But I didn't, so I had to be there. Eventually, after that, like, they got straight to the point. Like, the nurses was just like, here go your what to put on, that little big old gown they give you with your booty out. She gave me that to put on. She gave me a bag to put my clothes in. And then she hooked me up to the machine, laid me on that raggedy bed. I was in that bed. I was real nervous. And yes, they make you wear a mask. While you're giving birth, while you're in the hospital, you have to wear a mask. A lot of people was asking me, like, they made you wear a mask while you was giving birth? Yes, they make you wear a mask. And it's like really like messed up, even though it's like, well, we're trying to do your safety. Y'all already tested me for coronavirus the day before. I don't have corona, so why are you making me wear a mask? And then they made me get tested again. The same day that I was supposed to get induced, they made me get tested again because they couldn't find my results. Like, how raggedy is this hospital for y'all to lose my results? That don't make sense. Anyway, so that happened. And I was laying on the bed. And I had like 5 different nurses. The first nurse that came in there was an Asian lady, or Chinese, Asian, Japan. I don't know which one she was. But she was real cool. My mom had got mad at her though, because she thought that the lady didn't know what she was doing. She was explaining to me everything, like just walking me through everything that was about to happen. She was telling me I couldn't eat nothing, can't drink nothing, just ice. It was time. Wait, it took me a minute to get induced because my cervix, it was like, when I went in there, it was on 3, I think. 3 or 2.
The lady kept upping it. She was like, you can put it all the way to 20, and the other lady came in and was like, it's not supposed to be this high.
Huh?
You remember when the lady, she had kept upping it, and then the other nurse came in and was like, it's not supposed to be this high, and she...
Babe, I'm not at that part yet. I'm talking about when we first got in the first room and I was laying in that raggedy bed. It took me a while to get induced because my doctor, my actual black doctor, he was trying to make me go into labor by myself. So it was just like a waiting game, I was just in the bed. They was waiting for me to go into labor by myself because supposedly I was dilating, but it was going real slow. Like, I ended up going to 3, and they kept checking me to see if I was opening. He was just like, no, no, no. And then a little bit it opened, so they would induce me still. So, it took them probably, she induced me probably 30 minutes after, or maybe hours sitting in there. She decided to finally put me on the inducement. They put it in the IV. And when she do that, that's when of course, inducing you makes you start contractions. So when she induced me, I eventually started getting contractions, and I started like opening or whatever. And when I was feeling the contractions, it started getting real bad to where my back started hurting. Like, I didn't know contractions felt like that. I didn't know it was like your back. I'm thinking it's like cramps, like down there in that area. Like, you know how period cramps feel? I'm thinking that's how it was about to feel, like just period cramps, like super strong ones, because that's what people say. But no, it felt like your back is broken. Like I don't even know how to explain the feeling. Like, it felt like your back is just like breaking down in pieces. Like, oh my god, I can't take it no more. It got to the point where I couldn't take it no more, and I was telling my man, like, tell her I don't want my back to feel like this no more. I don't want my back to feel like this anymore. Like, that's what I was telling him. If you've seen the video, I probably was saying that in the video. But another thing, I was scared to take the epidural at first. I was scared to get on it because I heard a lot of bad stuff about it. People was telling me not to. My mom didn't want me to take the epidural. She wanted me to go natural because she did, apparently. Not with all her kids, but she did went natural. So I wanted to go natural, of course. I really wanted to, like, that was my plan, to go natural and just take the pain. But after I felt that back, how that back was hitting, I said nope. I wanted that epidural fast. So I eventually, the nurse ended up coming in there telling me that she was gonna call the doctor to give me my epidural. She wasn't the one to do it. It's another person who come give you the epidural, because I guess they specialize in doing that. So it's gonna be like a specific doctor to give you the epidural. So when they come in, they explain to you what's about to go down. The epidural is a shot that go in your back, and they put like a plastic thing over your back, and you gotta lay like this with your back like hunch. You gotta hunch your back, and you cannot move. They make sure they be telling you do not move. So I was trying not to move, but it's like I'm scared. Like, I don't know what this is about to feel like. I don't know how long it's gonna take. So every time that she would even get close to me, like, I'll flinch, and she'd be like, no, 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 you cannot move, you cannot move, you need to be still. Babe, was you in there, or you was outside?
I was there.
But
it was like, if I wanted to be in there, I had to stand in front of you or something.
Oh yeah, so my man was holding me, he was in front of me. I kept flinching at first, and they was like, no, you cannot move, no, you cannot move. So eventually I'm like trying to be as stiff as I can so I cannot move. And then, like, she was like, okay, I'm about to put it in. And then she stuck the thing in, and it just feel like some cold fluid is going inside of your back. Like, it's like a real cold feeling of water going into your back. And then she tapes it down, like she tapes it down back there, I think, and it's like just in your back the whole time. And then I laid down. It took like I'll say it took like 5 to 7 minutes for it to kick in. And like, they make sure it kicks in before they leave the room. They kept asking, you feeling it? Are you feeling anything? It's going to feel warm down there. She said it's going to start feeling warm down there or something when you know it's working. And you're not going to be able to move your legs. I wasn't able to move my legs. That's what happens with epidural. You're not going to be able to move nothing down there. It's like you paralyzed down there. Like, literally, you paralyzed down there, to where they have to stick a little tube up you for you to pee into it, because you're not going to know when you're peeing on yourself or none of that. So they have to stick the little pee tube up up inside of you, so you could pee into it. And the nurse was gonna be changing your pee buckets for you because you're not gonna be able to walk. Duh, you're on epidural, your legs are paralyzed. And I felt so disgusted, like when I would see the nurse like taking the big buckets of pee and like going to the bathroom to dump it. Like, dang, I'm really paralyzed. Now I got like a more love for people who paralyzed. Like, that really sucks. For real. Yeah, boom, I'm on epidural. I ain't feeling no pain. I'm happy. I'm chilling. I don't feel no pain. I'm just waiting for this to be over with. The whole time I'm thinking, I'm just waiting for this to be over with. I'm ready to be able to eat. They don't let you eat. I'm starving. I'm thirsty. When I tell you, I'll be getting thirsty on a regular, like I'm always thirsty. So the fact that I couldn't drink nothing in that hospital, girl, I was ready to die. But they give you ice and it helps. It soothes your hunger and it soothes your thirst. So that ice was helping. It was hitting the spot. And it's the good kind of ice. The hospital be having that good ice. So, boom, time going by. We ended up having to sleep there. That's how long it was taking for me to dilate. That's how long it was taking for me to dilate and my cervix to keep opening. And my epidural, it will run off. Like eventually it runs out and you have to take more. They give you like a little button for you to squeeze and it gives you more epidural. I done pressed that button like 5 times. I was not playing. When it would wear off, I would feel them contractions, push that button again. But it's like, it sucks because when it run off, you feel the contractions and it take a couple minutes for the epidural to kick in. So I would still be in pain for a little bit until my epidural kicked in, and it's like that pain just had me like shaking, like my legs would just be shaking, like, oh my god, that pain, that's how bad it hit. And my man, he was very good help, surprisingly. I really thought this dude was about to pass out because how paranoid he was during my pregnancy. Like, every time something was wrong with me, he would want to take me to the hospital. So I thought he was going to be real scared when it was time for me to go into labor, but he wasn't scared. He was being real good and helping me stay calm, and you know, he was just excited, surprisingly. So when I would go into pain, he would help me calm down. And then I remember I FaceTimed my mom, and while I was in labor at nighttime, and she seen that I was on epidural, and she was like, get off that epidural. You need to get off that epidural. You need to take that pain so that baby could come. The more you on the epidural, the more it's slowing you down. I'm just listening to her like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna get off. Knowing I'm not. I did not get off the epidural. I'm not about to be in pain. This is my first kid. I do not care. I thought I was gonna be able to take the pain because I'm usually good at taking pain, but girl, when they say it's the worst pain of your life, believe them. Take that epidural if you don't want to feel that pain. Boom, it's the next day. So basically I'm in labor for 24 hours plus, because we got to the hospital early the day I was supposed to get induced. So that means we at the hospital 24 hours, going over 24 hours. I'll say I was in labor for like 27 hours. That's how long I was in labor. The next day come, and you can see your contractions and how they going on the little machine that's next to you. And I was contracting a lot because one of my nurses, she kept turning the machine up real high for me to contract. And I guess like it's nurses on the outside where they can see how every patient is doing on a machine. So I guess they seen that in my room I was contracted way too much, way too fast or something, because one of the nurses ended up coming in and turning my machine down. She like, you contracting way too much, I need to turn it down. So I'm like, whatever that means, I guess. So what happened after that? Pretty much after that, I was dilating more and more, slowly but surely. They just kept coming in like hours after hours. Like 1 hour they'll come in, then they'll wait 2 hours, or they'll come in another hour and they'll just check to see how much I was dilated. It was eventually taking so long that they was considering giving me a C-section. So this whole time I'm thinking that I'm about to get a C-section. And when they told me I was going to end up having a C-section if I wasn't dilated enough, I started texting my sister because she had a C-section, and I'm just asking her questions about the C-section. She like, girl, it's way faster than regular birth. They just cut you and take the baby out and it's done. But I hear C-section recovery is way worse than pushing. So that's the only thing that I was really worried about. Even though it was to the point where them contractions had me like, I don't even care. Cut me open. Get this baby out. I'm ready for this to be over with. I guess, girl, this was crazy to me. I guess God didn't want me to have a C-section. He wanted me to push. And I wanted to push myself too, but then I ended up getting to the point so miserable that I wanted a C-section, but he wasn't about to let that happen. So my doctor ended up walking in the room, like just out of nowhere, just randomly coming, and he like, I'm about to check your cervix, see what's going on, see whether you about to get a C-section or not. So he come in and he stick his fingers inside me. And he like, he like, you can start pushing. I'm like, cause I ended up getting to 8 centimeters dilated like an hour before that. But I guess during the hour it ended up opening even more. It really caught me off guard when he checked my cervix and he told me that I could start pushing, because I did not expect it to happen that fast out of nowhere. Like, you could just start pushing. Like, I guess they felt the baby head and all that. Like, my cervix was like, it's time. And it really caught me off guard, because I'm just chilling, laying here, just relaxing, and you talking about you can start pushing. What? After that, it's just like everything started going so fast. Like, they get in the room ready for me to start pushing. They moving stuff around. Everybody's just getting ready for me to start delivering this baby. And I'm just laying there nervous, like, is this really about to happen this fast out of nowhere? I ended up telling my man, like, when it's time to push, FaceTime my mom. So now that it's time to push, he FaceTime my mom. And I'm on the phone with he on the phone with her. I'm not able to hold the phone because I'm in pain. So he was holding the phone and he told her like she about to start pushing. My mom on the phone yelling to me, getting on my nerves. When it's time, I'm telling you, when it's time for you to push, you don't want nobody talking to you. You don't want to hear all the extraness. You just want to concentrate, because it's time for you to focus, for you to push that baby out. You do not want no extra noise in your ear, nobody stressing you out. You just want to focus. So my mom on the phone yelling, talking about some, girl, you just saying a whole bunch of stuff. Like, oh my God. Like, it was literally to the point where I was telling my mom, can you please be quiet? Like, I was telling her that. And so basically, when it's time for you to push, the nurse is going to explain to you how you're supposed to push. She's going to show you how you're supposed to breathe, how you're supposed to push, how you're supposed to posture yourself. Then she basically going to tell you to breathe in and out. When your contractions hit, that's when it's time for you to push, when you feel a contraction. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, I was on epidural, but when it got time for me to push, it ran out. And I'm like trying to hurry up and tell the nurse, like, I need some more epidural because I'm feeling these contractions. But when my doctor walked in, he was like, how you feeling? Good. I'm like, I need some more epidural. He like, no, you don't want to keep taking epidural, because when it's time to push, you're not going to be able to move your legs. So you need to be able to move your legs, so don't take no more epidural. So I wasn't able to take epidural when it was time for me to push. Oh my God. I'm on level 9 now, basically ready to push. And them contractions, level 9 contractions that I was feeling, girl, death. Literally feel like death. Like, but I was taking it like a G. I wasn't crying, but I was like in pain. Like, you could tell I was in pain. I wasn't screaming or nothing. Like, I was just in pain. Boy, you cannot say I was in there screaming because they see the video.
You wasn't screaming, but you was for sure going through it.
Yeah, but I was taking it though, and I wasn't screaming like everybody else be. So yeah, give me my props. Thank you for me to be so small, taking that pain, pushing that baby out. I'm definitely proud of myself. I'm gonna start pushing, basically. What did she say? She said to breathe when it's time to push. Like, she showed you how to breathe, and she said like your legs be open like this, and you gotta like put your elbows on your knees, and like when you push, you gotta lean up. So like pushing the baby out. And I'm just listening to everything she's saying, taking notes, because I'm about to do exactly that. And I'm about to get it over with. The whole thing I was telling myself in my head was, I'm not about to push this baby for more than an hour. I'm not letting it happen. I'm not about to be pushing this baby for hours straight or hours. I don't understand how people do that. Like, a lot of girls was in my DM telling me, girl, 25 minutes? I was pushing for 5 hours. I was pushing for... How is that even possible? It's to the point where I can't even think how y'all went through that. Like, I know that was torture, because girl, when I was going through them 25 minutes, it was even like torture for me. Yes, I pushed my baby out in 25 minutes. It felt like forever though. That 25 minutes felt like forever. Like, I'm literally, while I'm pushing, I'm like, what was I saying? I'm saying like, I don't think it's working, but it was really working. Like, everybody in there was like, you're doing so good, oh my god. My man was so freaking excited. Oh my god, it was making me kind of mad how excited he was. Like, dude, like, he kept putting his head like this, trying to look and stuff. I'm like, you do not need to be looking all up in there. And I guess while the baby hair was coming out, my man was like, oh my god, he got so much hair. He kept saying that. He said that about 3 or 4 times. But my mom was on the phone yelling. Everybody in my house was on the phone eventually, because my mom went in the house to show them that I was in labor, and they was all counting down with the doctors. 3, 2, 1. Like, I'm like, turn the phone down, because they get on my nerves. Like, that's how it be when you pushing. But I'm happy that they still got to see me, even though they wasn't able to be there. And now that I think about it, I'm actually happy that they wasn't able to be in there, or more people wasn't, because I would have been irritated, because I was irritated by just them on the phone. My man was even irritating me, and he was doing good, helping me out, but you just trying to focus at that point. The pushing part is where you most like, we gotta get this over with. But so eventually, while I was pushing, and I was like, my veins, I just know my veins was popping out my neck by how hard I was pushing. Like, I just remember how hard I was trying to push like that. I remember the nurse telling me, keep going, like, push more. And like, they would stop me every time a contraction stopped. That's when you get to take a little breathing break, like. But my contractions was hitting so fast, because I'm 9 centimeters dilated. The baby's ready to come out. So you only get to take like a 5-second break to breathe. And then the contraction coming again, it's time for you to start pushing. So I was pushing real hard, because I'm trying to get this over with. I'm like, that's how hard, like, I could feel my brain, like, just like, that's how hard I was pushing, bro. I would show y'all the video or the pictures, but I look so terrible while I was pushing. I'm never showing nobody that in my life. But yeah, so eventually it got to the point where and it was making me feel kind of better by how the nurse was reacting to me pushing. Like, they was making me feel like my baby was almost out. So I was just pushing real harder and harder for him to come out. And then it got to the point where I was pushing, and my doctor, he just grabbed the baby and just pulled him out of me. Like, I didn't even have to finish pushing him out. My doctor just grabbed him and just pulled the rest of his body out. And I just remember that feeling. Like, I remember the feeling of him pulling the baby out of me. Like, I would never forget that feeling. Like, it just feel like, I don't know how to explain the feeling. Like, it feel like you just took like a big boo-boo, like like it just a big boo-boo just came out of you. Like, that's how it felt when he pulled the baby out of me. Like, something just slithered out. That's how it feel. And it was a relief. Like, once he pulled that baby out, it was a relief. I'm like, just laying there like, and then I heard the baby crying. I wasn't looking because I don't want to see blood. Like, I don't want to see my baby all bloody and stuff. I have a phobia of blood and seeing like stuff like that, like surgery, all type of stuff. And mind you, this is my first time ever being in the hospital, like dealing with something like this. Like, I never been in the hospital to where I had to get stitches or nothing big. So I was real scared about that part, like about seeing me bleeding or any of that. So I was not looking down at all. Like, I was just looking at the ceiling because I don't want to see myself bleeding or anything. So when my baby came out, I wasn't looking at him. Like, I was like, can y'all clean him off, please? Like, I don't want him to be all bloody and stuff when y'all give him to me. So they ended up taking the baby to the little bed, and all the nurses kept saying, big baby, big baby. Everybody in there saying, he's a big baby, big baby. Oh my gosh, it's a big baby. My man was over there with the baby while the nurses and them was cleaning him off and doing everything. And I remember they was like, you ready to hold the baby? I was telling my doctor, because my doctor was still sitting right there. I guess he was about to let me take a break. I'm like, let's get this over with all the way, because I heard after you give birth, you got to give birth again to that placenta. So after that, I'm like, I'm not about to take no break. I'm ready to get this all the way over with. So I'm like, you need to do what you got to do, get this over with so I could relax. So when I literally told my doctor that, he like, all right then. And then that's when he got to work and he started going down there, and I remember him pushing on my stomach to get that placenta out. That was like the worst feeling ever. Like, I remember him when he first put his hand on my stomach to push it out, and it's like you could feel like that little thing in you like moving around because he trying to push out. It made me flinch to where I grabbed his hand and I was trying to move his hand like I was like, ooh, I was in pain. I was trying to stop him from doing it, but while he was pushing, like my hand was literally on his arm, like trying to stop him, but he ended up taking it out. And that's another feeling of like you just boo-booed something out. Like, ugh, I didn't look, I didn't want to see what it was. So this whole time till the very day, I don't know how nothing looks. I don't know how the umbilical cord looks. I don't know how the placenta looks. I don't know how nothing looks because I was not looking. I did not want to see that. So my man said he was watching everything. And I didn't even know he cut me until my man told me. So I guess he had to cut me to help my baby come out. And my man said that I was bleeding after that. But after my doctor took my placenta out, he started giving me stitches to stitch me back up. Because I remember after my placenta came out, I was like, are we done now? He was like, no, I still got to stitch you back up. And I'm like, all right, just do it, get it over with. So I'm just laying there. I can't feel nothing. I couldn't feel me pushing or nothing because it was still a little bit of epidural medicine in there. Even though I could still feel the contractions, I couldn't feel me pushing. And I couldn't feel him stitching me. I couldn't feel, I felt everything else though. I felt the placenta come out. But so after that, he stitched me up or whatever, and they was taking a lot of time with my baby for some reason. I guess because he was big or something. I forgot why. But it took them a minute to give me him for me to hold him. I remember that. And I remember like first thing I said was, I want something to drink. And the nurse was like, okay, you want some apple juice, orange juice? My man ended up getting me some juice. They gave me some juice. Oh, I felt like a slave that just got off the ship and landed on the beach with some water that I could finally drink after being chained into a chamber for years. That's how it felt when I finally got to drink something. After I got my drink or whatever, I was like, y'all give me some pain medicine because I'm in pain. Like, you want to be in pain after you give birth. So I was in pain, like, bro, that's all I kept saying to the nurses. They asking me, how are you? How you feel? I didn't want to hear none of that. I'm like, you give me some pain medicine. I want some pain medicine. I need pain medicine. I kept telling them that. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna give you pain medicine once we transfer you up to the room. So I guess me and my man, we had to stay another night. I don't know why they made us stay. I guess they make everybody stay another night. But so they ended up transferring us to another room. It was like a real comfortable room where finally my man had his own bed to sleep in next to me. And that the room they transferred to us is like upstairs. It's like where all the babies and the moms who just gave birth is. So when we got up there, the nurse was real cool. She was real cool. I remember her name because she told us to shout her out in our video, but I don't remember her name. She was real cool. She taught me how to clean myself after birth. She gave me what I needed. She had me walk so I could be able to walk. They was basically just taking care of me after that. Taking care of the baby. They were showing us how to take care of the baby, like what we need to know about the baby and all that stuff. We was really pretty much up that night. I don't even know if we slept. Did we even sleep that night?
I was just staring at the baby.
I don't even think we slept that night. I'm not gonna lie, I really thought postpartum depression was fake at first. Like before it was time for me to deliver my baby, I thought postpartum was fake, and I felt like it was only a thing that like certain people get who are going through a terrible pregnancy. But no, it don't matter if your pregnancy is terrible or good. That mess is real because I guess it got to do with your hormones, and I like looked it up, and it got something to do with your hormones. So it was real because I remember when I was in the hospital, I went to the bathroom, and I was so swollen after birth. Like I felt like I didn't look like myself, and then it was the fact that I couldn't take care of myself. I was bleeding. My man was being so good of help. Like my man was such a good of help. He was helping me while I was bleeding and how I had to clean myself and everything. He was helping me. But I remember when I was in the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and I just started crying because I felt like I didn't look like myself. I felt like I was ugly. Like I just didn't feel like I was me anymore. So I remember I was busting out crying in the bathroom, and I was just like so sad, and like it felt like really bad. And my man, he was helping me. He was holding me, telling me I'm beautiful and that it's gonna get better. Like thanks to him, I really don't have no postpartum depression. Like if it wasn't for him, I probably would have like terrible postpartum depression. But I feel like every mom, after you give birth, you should have somebody there who's going to help you feel good, like to make sure you're not like feeling bad about yourself, because that really happens after you have a baby. And another thing that was making me sad in the hospital was because the fact that I had to recover, and I felt like I couldn't help my baby as much as I wanted to. Like I felt bad that my man, he was doing more than me. And it was because I was recovering. I felt bad. Like, Mom wouldn't be helping my baby more, but I couldn't even walk. Like, it was real bad. That's another thing that's probably makes people go into postpartum depression. Their recovery, and the fact that it's like you in pain and you can't do as much as you want to with your baby because it's like you recovering. So I feel like that's where some type of postpartum depression I had. It was really mostly me in the hospital. But after that, and that's another reason, if you watch my labor vlog, that's why I was crying in the hospital. A lot of people was asking, why was you crying in the end of the video? That's why I was crying, because my man had made a really stupid joke and it made me cry, and I cut that part out and just left the crying part in there. But that's why I was crying, because I felt so ugly. But yeah, and the day I left the hospital, which was the next day after we had to sleep in the baby room with the nurse, with the whatever it's called, they put you in a wheelchair, take you down, blah blah blah. They give you all the paperwork, tell you what to do, blah blah. We went to my man's mom's house after we left the hospital. We didn't come straight here, because I don't know why my man just wanted to go there so we could, we could just chill for a day. We slept there at his mom's house the day we left. And I remember when I was sitting on the couch, it was like late at nighttime. I looked down on my legs and my feet, and they was swollen like balloons. Like I just swelled up out of nowhere. Like my legs and my feet looked like Hulk. Like I was that swollen. And so I had to keep putting my legs up on pillows. And then I remember that night when it was time for me to go to bed, my chest swelled up. I didn't have breast milk after I gave birth. I didn't have breast milk the day before or none of that until the day I left the hospital and went to sleep that night. My chest swelled up so big like Superman. Like I just felt like something was going on. Like I was telling my man to look. Like I was telling my man to look, like, look at this. It was like big like Superman. I didn't even know my chest could get that big. Like I would never expect that to happen unless I got plastic surgery. It literally looked like I got plastic surgery. That's how big they was. And it was hard and heavy and it was just painful. I was like, no. Make sure you use that cabbage in that wrap. So yeah, that's pretty much my labor story time. Oh, this cabbage is warm now. Take it out. But that's pretty much what happened the day of, the day after, and the day I left. That's the story time with my freaking labor. It was definitely a day I'm never gonna forget. It was a really big day, probably the biggest day of my life, the day I gave birth. The biggest day of anybody's life. So women are definitely strong. The stuff we gotta go through in life. Man, I wish I was a man. But it happened. I'm happy it's over with. I'm not having another kid until 5 years, if that. That was a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. That was definitely a lot. It was definitely an experience. A lot of moms, after they give birth, oh my God, it was so beautiful. I would do it all over again. My baby is beautiful. I love him. He makes me happy. He makes me and my man happy. He's changing us, making us more happy. And I feel like I'm way more attracted to my man now that I had my baby, because I like the way he is with the baby. But that experience of labor, I don't know what these moms be talking about after they had their kids, because girl, definitely a movie. So yeah, little Burlito is here now. Burlito is 4 weeks now. He's about to be a month on the 6th of, what month is this? September. So that's in a couple days. He's gonna be 1 month finally. And he's such a cutie. His eyes are beautiful. He has his dad eyes. He has a lot of hair. He's like just beautiful. Beautiful baby. Of course I was gonna make a beautiful baby. Duh. There's no ugliness around here. Not in this life, not in my man life. We made a beautiful kid together. Burlito Gonzalez Jr. That's his nickname, by the way. Not his real name. Y'all know his real name. So, Burlito Gonzalez Jr. He's beautiful. I'm gonna reveal baby Burlito to y'all maybe in my next video. So, y'all make sure y'all get this video to 10,000 likes. So I can see that that's what y'all want. Face reveal for baby Burlito. That'll be my next video if y'all like this video up to show me that's what y'all ready for. Period. I'm out of here. This is the video y'all wanted. I hope y'all enjoyed. Share this video with somebody that's expecting, somebody that's pregnant who wants to know about how the experience really is. And of course everybody's experience is different. Everybody feels different, I guess, but I told it how it really is and what really goes down. And I never heard nobody tell story time about what really the details go deep to where you have to pee in a bucket and stuff like that. So yeah, I felt like this was a good one. But yeah, so I'm out of here. I'm about to go to bed with me and my man and maybe Abel.